think
Because you started.
Okay, I think the next slide, okay, let's just, first of all then, if you're going to do eBay or anything, make sure, or you're dealing with anyone, don't deal in postal ounces, troy ounces, or the world standard is troy ounces. There's 12 ounces in a troy pound. There's 12 troy ounces, but there are, what, 18 postal ounces. So the postal ounce has only 28.3 grams. So if they're weighing it in postal and selling it to you, then you're losing 10% or something. I mean, it won't kill you, but you don't want to. You want apples and apples. You want, if they've weighed something, or you've weighed something, you need to make sure you're weighing it in troy ounces. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Or if they told you how many grams it was, it's always going to.
If you're working grams, you're home free. And I won't confuse it in the penny-weights, because years and years and years the gold was done in penny-weights because of the weight of a penny in England, and you know. So us old guys savvy penny-weights. If they ever ask you, there's 20 penny-weights in an ounce. So you can convert that real quick too if you're. But that's mostly in the gold. But okay. Let me see if I did one out. No, okay. This is where we're going to have to. Okay, we'll go down again. So if you're going to sell something, okay, back to the illustration that we were talking about. We used to have great big pecan trees in New York. If we gathered up pecan trees, I mean pecans out there, it mattered what? It mattered how much they were paying per pound, and then I needed to know what? How many pounds I had. So if I was going to go sell my pecans, I needed to watch them weigh them. Or I needed to weigh them myself. So I needed the price and the weight. So I've witnessed this dozens and dozens of times with these silver and gold buyers. Someone comes in and comes up to the counter and can help you, and they just lay their little bag of whatever up there. The guy takes it, oftentimes goes to the back, weighs it, does whatever he wants to with it. I mean, I've witnessed this several times, many times. Comes back with it and says, well, we give $82.40 for your stuff. For this, we don't want that. She said, okay. She has no idea, or he, but usually, most times the lady that I've seen, they have no idea what they've sold. They don't know what it's worth per, and they don't know how much it weighs. So that's what I was just trying to do. What I would like to see in the kingdom is for Christians to quit doing that. You know, it's tough, and it's getting worse. I'll probably get in trouble before it's over, but there's some stuff going on in the kingdom that's not good. And, so anyway, we're going to go through it again. You need to know how much it weighs and how much it's worth per gram, basically. Just like you would if you were selling 4 pounds of tomatoes or anything else. You need to know the price and the weight. So you have to do a little bit more figuring on this than you would have, 10 pounds of pecan but it's really that simple. That's what it is. So you, if you want to go through it again, you take the spot price.
Which you said was 32.
The spot price is $32 an ounce. Let's write it down on the board. Okay, the price is 32.
And that you can look up anywhere on any given day.
Yep.
It's the world.
You can just look it up on your phone. Kitco is a good one. Outfit kitco.com. And then when the New York market closes, the world market's still going. You know, they close on the weekend too. But so the price is changing while we sleep sometimes. So if you were making a deal at midnight, you might not use the 6 o'clock oil. But these guys that deal in it, they're going to have their little computer on. They're going to know exactly, or they're going to give you so little it won't matter. It's a lot. So, all right, we'll multiply that times .925. That gives you the price of what an ounce of sterling is worth.
That 32 is not a sterling price, that's pure silver price.
Yes, this is pure,
Pure silver.
and the gold is a gold price. Pure gold or pure silver, the spot price. Because, you know, they don't do one for each kind of thing. And so that gives you, then you take that, and it equals, what do we say?
An ounce of sterling.
Yeah, but
What's the price?
29. I got it, here, I got it.
What's the?
29.6.
It's $29.60
Well, that's dollars per troy ounce.
of sterling. And if you want to do it in grams, you divide that by 31.1 equals how many grams? Equals the price per gram.
So it's now, yeah. So 0.95, so it's 95 cents per
95 cents
actual gram.
a gram. Okay, and then you weigh your item. In grams. This is for weighing bigger items. You can weigh those big teapots and kettles. I saw them melting a punch bowl that nearly made me sick when silver went really high here last year. They took this huge punch bowl that was sterling and they just bent it and smashed it down and put it in a box. And the guy said, "There's no way it's ever going to be worth the silver value. It was just a plain, giant, big old punch bowl." But it went for scrap. Okay, that's grams. That buckle weighs 107.7 grams. So that's going to be worth close to about $105, $104. So 95 cents times, what did I say? How many grams? 107.7 is what?
$102.32.
How much?
$102.32.
Okay, 102. The silver, that's the actual melt value of that buckle. Okay, this was marked in an antique shop in Austin. It was priced at $32.50. And I bought 3 of them and I shopped there, so I got my discount.
Good guy.
It all counts. And I think I paid $29 for it. So would you buy that? Okay. That's basic silver buying. So, now, if you took that into one of these silver buyers, they're probably going to pay you about $50. Most of the time, they're about 50%. I've sat behind the counter with some of them, and they told me that's what they pay is 50%. That's a pretty good markup. So that's how it works. And you can do that for any one of these items, except this one, which has a sterling covered handle and a stainless blade. So of the 20 pieces I bought, the knives are the least desired. But in a set of sterling, they don't make the blades out of sterling, they're too wimpy, too soft. So if you're buying, you gotta watch them, and sort of in the trade, the way it was, I haven't checked lately, we used to count the knives as a half ounce. I don't know if that holds true, but that used to be kind of the going deal. But you weigh the rest of the pieces are all, the forks and knives and teaspoons, they're all solid pieces. then where are we? We got the equipment, troy ounces. Okay. And we've talked about the collector or artistic value versus the silver value, right? Okay, this is a dog judge award. Do I know if there's any demand for a 1983 HBHA? What's that stand for? Trial judge.
Yeah,
Trial judge. I don't know, but before I settle it, I'll find out.
Check on eBay.
I'll check it. I'll check around. And a couple of months ago, I hit a real home run. I bought a bucket sort of like this. It's a 1958 world champion calf roper. I won't give the guy's name. He's like the Mickey Mantle of calf rope. I bought it at the Silver and Gold Buyers. And it was so unusual, I didn't know for sure what it was. But I used one of my old tricks. Once I got it in my hands, I never let it down until I got out the door. You see what I mean? So that's a real good piece of advice. If you're at an estate sale or a garage sale, and you're shopping, and there's a rush, and people are grabbing and buying, have you ever been in one of those? Where you wait in line and they open the door and you all run in and grab and stuff, and people are getting, grabbing and reaching over you and pushing you. If you see something that you might think is sterling or something you might want, get it in your hands. Carry a little plastic Walmart bag. Then when your hands get full, put them in there. And don't stand there and try to find the mark and miss all the other stuff. You see what I mean? So that one might work. We got that. We got that. We got that. And go get this. And when you get
Price?
when it all settles down, then you go over to a quiet corner and you look at it. And then if you don't want it, you take it back over there and set it down. It took me a while to learn. But does that make sense?
No, not really.
Does it make sense to you?
No.
Okay.
Price?
You're so encouraging. but that's a good, and if you get into that kind of thing, it's really pretty exciting. I've had people try to take stuff out of my hands. One lady wrote, she said, "I've got to have that. I collect those." And I said, "Well, ma'am, you don't collect this one." You got to hold your own. One day I went in this house and there was rooms open, and this guy, I knew him real well. He was kind of new in the business, and he ran up to the door and he said, "I'll take everything in this room." And I said, "That don't work this way." So some of us pushed him out of the way. We said we all have a shot at something. You can't do that. There's certain rules. There's certain fairness rules, but it's a pretty exciting fun thing. And a lot of times it's nothing going on. It's all but if you get there and they do one of these, open the door and let everybody rush in, it can get pretty exciting. But that one simple little rule about just pick up what you think you might want and hold on to it until you have time to evaluate it. Because you could be standing there evaluating that one item and miss out on 4 or 5 or 10 other items. So I think that's pretty good.
And that website that you mentioned, is it KIT?
Kitco. KITCO.com.
CO.com?
Did
Just
it
wanna
come
make
with
sure
silver and gold stuff?
Yeah, just wanted to make sure I spelled it
Yeah.
right.
And then there's another really good website that I use a lot called goldmastersusa.com. And they're really neat in the fact that the things we've been talking about in the coins world, if you're talking silver coins, we've got a few over here, they'll tell you exactly what they're giving for it and exactly what they're selling it for. And so those are really good references when you're trying to put together a little deal on some coins or something, because you can go and see what some of the bigger guys, the companies are giving for it and what they're selling it for. And it gives you a real price. Because the last thing a lot of these guys want you to get is a real price. Like those guys that were trying to buy those coins from a friend of mine. They don't want him to know the real price. But he had learned the real price because he went to Gold Masters. With me talking to him, we went to Gold Masters and said, well, they should be offering you so-and-so to one. He knew the price when he went in, and so fortunately, he knew enough to not take those offers until the guy came up and was willing to make a fair profit. And when he called me back, I said, well, that's a fair price. If the guy's going to tie up $2,300, he should be able to make a couple of it. That's fair. You know. And she sold it, and everybody was happy. And but the guy didn't need to make, $1,200 or $1,500 on one transaction. So, but you can't blame those guys for trying, and believe me, they'll try. They'll really try. So, I think just a little bit more on this collector value thing.
Then a break.
Yes, take a break. Is that what somebody said?
Yeah, after you want to take a break,
Y'all want to take a break?
finish it off.
We're over.
Yeah,
Okay, on the artistic value, it's like anything else. You know you figured out what the silver value. I immediately came home and weighed this, figured out what the silver value was. So I'll look when I get ready. I look and I can probably find this exact pattern. This is I think it's Wallace. Anyway, but I can find probably the exact pattern on this one, the exact bowl. I can find something on eBay comparable to it, and I can decide then. And what I've been saying, and then the way I do it, if it's worth several times the silver value, it's a candidate for me to sell. Because I could say it's worth twice the silver value, then I could get the $150, keep the $75, and go buy $75 worth of more silver. So in other words, it wouldn't be worthwhile for me anything because I'm not into collecting silver and hanging on to it. So that's what I do to evaluate any item that I buy that's silver. I compare what I think it might be worth as a collector's item or an artistic piece because that one is pretty. It's undamaged and it's nice. And I don't think it's monogrammed or anything. That's another thing. Monograms on silverware or anything hurt the resale value. A lot of people put their initials in the bottom of their bowls and whatnot. And that hurts the value because for obvious reasons. So all of those things play a part in it. And I always really good rule of thumb, always look at the baby cups. Back when silver was cheap, nearly everybody, a lot of people, gave the new baby a baby cup because they were soft. If they're silver plate, they won't ding it nearly as easy. So, but baby cups I bought lots of them. They're real good. Everything looking good.
Tight.
All right, let's take a break.